Akeem Hunt. Unfortunately, Akil Patterson's here. Like, unfortunately, right? And then we have also
I don't know
Tech.
what you mean by unfortunately, you little man with chubby little cheeks.
What do you mean chubby? I got a nice face. See my jawline I sent you yesterday? Watch
You
that
look like an old
podcast.
Pokemon
Watch that
card.
podcast. Straight jawline. Nothing but jawline in that picture, man. Aside from that, we also have Tech. Tech, Tech's a big brain guy, huge brain guy. Happy to have him up here. Aside from all my blabbering, how you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having us. So hyped to be here. Yeah, excited to, I guess, answer some questions and talk about XSurge with everyone.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know me already by the last few AMAs, my name's Blue for Life 90 across all media platforms. I'm the XSurge cross-platform moderator and community manager for the community. And I'm really happy to be here too, man. You guys have a whole different vibe around you, man. I mean, I'm really excited to be here. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Akil, you want to jump in before I kick you off or what?
No, I don't want to jump in on anything with you today because obviously you're the little man that always gives me a pain in the ass.
I'm glad you're being very petty again. That's what we're used to. I'm glad we're.
That was a lot of information he just let out.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm doxxed. You guys can check me out. I'm here. I'm doxxed.
Nothing wrong with it, just
fuck no.
Behind closed doors,
It's kind of it's kind of strange that he's got a vivid image of my face in his head. It's concerning, but that's for another day, I guess. Without further ado, so Matt, Lou, tell us what you guys do with an XSurge.
Oh my God! So what we do with XSurge is we're basically trying to pretty much incorporate all areas of DeFi that exist right now and rebuild them in a decentralized way, very decentralized, with very little owner control and manipulation. We particularly use this algorithm that we made for our surge tokens that specifically helps us do some really wacky results, considering nothing like these tokens have been around before. So it opens the door to a couple of really crazy possibilities. Right now, we're kind of in the beginning of our roadmap where we're kind of creating these different surge variants and building out our platforms. But over time, we're going to be capitalizing on a bunch of different areas of DeFi, including exchanges, lending, yield farming, so many stuff like that for sure. But just to give a quick overview, the thing we've been doing lately is just really mastering the surge token variants themselves. And that's probably what you hear when you hear XSurge. You think of the actual tokens. What we're building right now goes very far beyond tokens, but it's good to just start with things that are simple, like the surge tokens themselves. So these tokens, if you have never heard of them, they're very different than any other token that's available in the space right now. It very much defies many of the conventions that most tokens follows, and I would say it breaks many of them. It's very different than any normal token you would experience. One of the major differences about this token is the fact that there's no exchange for it. You can't buy this token on a centralized exchange or a decentralized exchange. So you can't go on PancakeSwap to get it. You can't go anywhere to get it. The only place where you can get surge tokens are from the surge tokens themselves. What a surge token is basically it's its own exchange that handles the trading of itself and another asset, more or less. So a surge token, to buy surge, you must buy it from the token itself. And when you want to sell it, you must sell it back to the token itself. And what this does is it really puts it in a good position to outlive everything. Even if every exchange in the world was to go down in flames for some reason or get strictly regulated, Surge would still be able to be traded indefinitely until the very last block of the blockchain is mined. So that's one of the major things that I love about Surge. It's just its immortality in a way, because we took a step away from exchanges and really built a market maker into the token itself, which is really interesting. And I can keep going, but there's a lot of things that separate Surge from your traditional token, such as that there's no liquidity pool because of that, so there's no LP tokens. Takes a lot of the fear and FUD away when people hear about projects owning a large portion of tokens that they can use to rug pull. Additionally, on that, there's no whales, so you can't even rug pull. Whale issues, whale manipulation, that all goes away with Surge. Whales are actually they benefit the community no matter what they do. When they buy it or they sell it, it benefits the Surge token very, very heavily. So whales actually have no power in Surge, which is something a lot of people aren't used to. The main difference of Surge, the two other things that really differentiate it is, for one, it's got a 100% backed market cap. So what that means is when you see the value of a Surge token, that is its value, and it can never, you'll never be left holding a bag of valueless tokens. Every single token is 100% backed by real value. And it actually goes above and beyond this because the value of the Surge tokens themselves can actually never go down. They can only go up. So whenever these tokens are transacted in any way, whether someone's buying it, selling it, sending it to a friend, it raises the value of the Surge token. And this is only possible because of its internal market maker. So yeah, that's a rough overview of what the Surge token variants are themselves, but it's very different than standard tokens in a lot of ways. It's not like a Surge token can go up 100x and then crash back down. Instead, a Surge token steadily grows itself with transaction volume because this internal market maker ensures it to be true.
Yeah.
So Mark, okay, go ahead, Serge, you got it.
Yeah, I was just going to tap onto that just a little bit. So we actually, our main goal, the tokens are an absolutely beautiful concept, and we can apply that to anything. So whenever we wrap around an asset, it in turn benefits that other asset. So for instance, we're wrapped around useless token, an Ethereum token, BTC, ADA, and BUSD. So what it does is it takes away from the supply. When it's stored in the contract, it actually takes away from the supply of whatever token it wraps around. So that in turn boosts the value of the backing asset itself too. So really, we're a decentralized unity concept in the way that we bring communities together. Now, the trader ecosystem that we're actually trying to build right now will allow you to play the market, participate in arbitrage opportunities in the market to gain profitability.
Yeah, we'll touch on the arbitrage and stuff in a little bit, definitely.
Yeah.
That definitely goes a little bit deep into the weeds for Surge and its main utilities because, well, the Surge tokens themselves, if you just have a bunch of Surge tokens, it's cool. Yeah, people buy it, people hold it, people sell it. People make money if they hold longer. That's the whole basis of Surge. It's more like a game of diamond hands. So considering the price can never go down, the longer you hold, the more value you can redeem. The Surge token itself makes sure that every one token, the amount of underlying assets you can pull out is always increasing. So for instance, Surge USD, the starting price of XUSD, as an example, was $1. And every time it's transacted, the ratio of how much BUSD can I pull out from one XUSD constantly rises. So now it's about $1.04. So it's already gone up about 4% since the initial starting point, and it's going to continue to build on from here as it does its thing. But the real utility behind Surge goes away from this algorithm and really comes into how we can apply the algorithm to various parts of DeFi, such as exchanges and lending. And the main utility behind XUSD, as Blue just mentioned, is what I call mutual crypto volatility, mutually beneficial crypto volatility, which is anytime the price of any cryptocurrency rises or falls, a Surge token paired to it will go up in value. And I'll go into that later. That's a little out of the scope for an introduction, but I just wanted to touch on it really quick.
Awesome. So I mean, I'm up here because I know a little bit of technology and a little bit about the blockchain. What you're doing is innovative. At the same time, you know, a lot of the people that are out here, you know, saw what happened a few months ago. But with market makers, right? Obviously, the more something is bought, the liquidity or the availability of that token becomes depleted. Right. So when you say that something can't go down, can you explain that to the people, because if I own, stick with some basic numbers. If I owned 1,000 Surge tokens initially, right, and it's similar to Hex, right? The longer you hold, obviously there's more value baked into liquidity. But if there was a mass, if there was a mass sell-off, how are you protecting that value? Is there a major tax buy-in on the way in? Is there a major tax, exit? Like, how is this?
Just really
how
quick
these
to
dynamics
preface
work?
that, if there was a major sell-off, the price of the Surge token would skyrocket, like unparalleled high. No operation to the Surge token raises its value more than selling it. So in the event, since it's over 100% backed, even if every single Surge holder sold, you would still be able to pull out 100% of your asset with zero loss to expected value. And in fact, you'd actually get the best deal out of every single person that sold before you, because their sells increase the price of your next sell. So the way it does that is with a taxation, but it's definitely not a heavy one.
Okay.
For XUSD, there's a mint taxation, which it's called. So to start, as you were saying, with whales that own supply, there isn't a fixed supply of Surge. When you go to buy Surge, it actually creates new tokens for you. But the only way to create new tokens is to actually provide it a backing asset. So you have to give it the asset, whether it's Ethereum, US dollars, Bitcoin, it depends on the token. But you actually give it the asset. And depending on how many you give it, it mints you tokens. And when you go to sell, it actually destroys all those tokens. And instead of giving you back your whole amount, it gives you back slightly less. And when it gives you back slightly less, but destroys all of the tokens being sold, it inflates the ratio between the total supply and the total amount of underlying assets, making each one token withdraw more assets and therefore become more valuable.
So from a bottom line perspective, if I go into Surge with $1, right, and immediately that dollar is going to lose some value because you're taking a tax, right?
Yeah, so for XUSD, it's a 0.25% fee. So it's very minimal.
Very minimal. And then on the out, what's the out?
0.25% again. Very tiny.
So you really just have to 0.25. So it's not even a whole 1% you have to get back to be able to
so for
break
XUSD,
even.
if you enter it right now, you have your allowance, your bag has to actually appreciate by 0.5% until you're in that profit zone. And from that point on, you can just hold indefinitely and continue to gain profit. And when you eventually sell, you'll give that little tax that gets taken back to everyone else that holds. So basically, the tax on buys and sells, it gets distributed back into the Surge token, which basically gives it to everyone that held. That's why I call Surge a game of diamond hands, because when someone buys it and when someone sells it, everyone holding the Surge token gets a little teeny piece. And those pieces accumulate as it gets transacted.
So it sounds a lot, not one for one, but it sounds a lot like Hex on Ethereum, right? But you're not committing anyone to lock in at a specific period of time.
Nope,
right?
You can buy and sell.
Okay.
You can buy and sell to your heart's desire. And the cool thing about XUSD is you don't even have to be locked into some of the higher fees that other Surge tokens have. So XUSD has very low fees. But some of the other ones, we've experimented with variable fees. So the first ones that came out, like Surge Ethereum, that has around a 6% buy and sell fee and a 2% transfer fee. So you would have to actually make up 12% to be in the profit zone for that. Just for numbers, to date, it's been about 4 months. Surge Ethereum is up 68% over the last 4 months. So I originally came in with a certain number of Ethereum, and now I would be able to withdraw 68% more Ethereum. And that's how the Surge token works. So if Ethereum falls to 0, my Surge tokens are valueless because they are just a promise to redeem Ethereum at a later date. But if Ethereum goes up to $1 million, the value of my Surge tokens goes right up with it, because you can never withdraw less Ethereum than the initial starting point. And this is true for any underlying asset. So the starting price of Surge Ethereum was 0.005 ETH. And to date, right now, it's about 0.0085 ETH per billion Surge Ethereum. So that is the value that always rises. It doesn't always rise in fiat. It follows its underlying asset. XUSD, however, does only rise in fiat because it's pegged to the USD.
So I mean, part of the reason I'm also here is to create clarity, right? Because there's two sides of messaging that are out there based off the history of this concept, right? Initially, you know, when people came to me about XSurge and about what you were saying, about it can't go down, I was a little skeptical, right? Because
Oh, of
it's
course.
it's a new concept. So it's been a few months. Was it Surge BNB? Was that the product that
That was the very first one. Yeah.
yeah, the very first one. So I get DMs from people. Hey, isn't Mark a scammer? Isn't Mark this? Like, please walk us through. I guess the history of that, so that you can create clarity. Because I commend you for continuing to go and aligning yourself with projects to fulfill the void that was lost. But
Yeah,
tell us about
absolutely.
that. How did that go down? What was your mindset afterward? What was it beforehand when you find out there was an exploit, but you didn't have enough time to move fast enough to rectify the issue before it went down?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our very first Surge token, the first one that ever was created, did have an exploit in it that was taken advantage of on August 16th, a few months ago. This very first Surge token was more or less an experiment at the time. It definitely wasn't even a fraction of what it is today and what the ecosystem we have built is. At the time, it was just me and a friend of mine were spitballing these ideas when I created the contract, and we were sending it around to people. We were just trying it out, testing it, buying, selling it, sending it, trying to burn it, do whatever we can to make the price go down, and we couldn't. And we were really like freaking out. And we ended up just showing it to a bunch of people. And the very next day, I remember waking up and there was all these communities made for it. It was this whole independent thing already. And the whole thing behind Surge as well is that it's completely community owned. So the way that we wrote the contracts, there's no owner control in it that gives the owner of the contract any special ability over anyone else. So it was fully a community project all along. And we started really going with it. We were having a great time. At the very beginning, we didn't know where we were going to take things. Now, with yield farming, lending, and exchanges, we have a very solid roadmap for where we're going. But at the very start, we really had no idea. We just thought we broke economics. So we started releasing other Surge token pairings with other assets and really stopped paying attention to the very first version. And when I first created the first version, I was relatively new to the space. Since that point in time, I have learned, I can't even explain how much I've learned since that point. And friends that are close to me, friends up here on the stage, can attest to the growth that I've gone through since this point. But the very first contract had a vulnerability in it. And the vulnerability was, I can explain exactly how it would happen. If you were to buy Surge and then sell it, and when you received the asset, immediately put it back into the Surge token, so you like kind of go back and forth a little bit, you would be able to mint tokens at a slightly better deal than other people. And this is due to the fact that when the asset was sent back, BNB, it didn't update its variables before. It didn't update the total supply before sending out the token. So for that millisecond, that one moment in time, the price of the Surge token was lower than it really was because the asset was sent away, but the total supply wasn't reduced. So what would happen is if you had over 15% of the supply, you would be able to actually mint tokens for a profit. So what ended up happening is this person took out a flash loan of $4 million, which was high enough for them to effectively trigger this exploit and drain the BNB out of the Surge BNB contract. And since this contract was renounced and had no ownership functionality whatsoever, there was absolutely nothing we could have done to prevent this. The only thing we could have thought of was either to do it ourselves or to tell everyone to just sell and hope to God they listen and sell off before any malicious actors noticed this. We ended up going with the latter. We wrote up a whole announcement and pasted it to the community and said, an exploit has been discovered in Surge BNB. Please sell your tokens, more or less. The thing about Surge, though, sells increase the price more than buys. Nobody did it. Everyone sat around, you first, you sell first. It was this huge game. And we were in there just begging people, like trying to purvey the severity of the message. And about 10 minutes after after that announcement went out, someone triggered the exploit. So what I had envisioned is someone knew about it all along and was waiting until Surge BNB grew in value before triggering it.
Yeah.
So when we put out the announcement, it probably spooked them and caused them to just run and click the button right away. So after this happened, it was definitely probably the lowest point in my life, because it wasn't only friends that were in Surge for me or the DeFi people. It was family. It was pretty much everyone in my life that I felt like I'd let down. I definitely retreated a little bit. I stopped going out in spaces. I definitely just got in my head a bit, but that wouldn't have helped anyone. If I were to just hang up the coat and just say, I fucked up, and just stop, that would have been it. And everyone would have been out. Everything that they lost, and people who trusted me would have felt stupid for trusting me. And so I couldn't just do that. So I decided to suck it up, come back, keep doing what I'm doing, keep learn from my mistakes, and see if I could rectify the situation. So we set up the Surge Fund, which is a charitable relief fund, and it knows all the money that everyone lost in that attack. And when money is donated to it, it divvies it up to the different people and lets them claim from it once per day. It was a sizable chunk of money that was stolen in the attack, around $5 million, $7 million in today's money. But we're slowly paying it back, and we've already got almost 2% paid off entirely. So 2% isn't a lot, but it's better than nothing, and we're definitely making strides to get that better each day. And as for what we've done post-hack is we've pretty much partnered with Certic. We are very close friends with the Certic people. They've come onto some of our spaces every now and then. Larry, in particular, has helped us out a lot. He's one of the main VPs over there. They have audited all of our contracts. Well, every contract that is different from the other ones. So Surge Bitcoin, Surge ETH, and Surge Useless have all been audited and have received amazing feedback. Pretty much nothing is up with them at all. Just, the standard audit stuff like, oh, well, if you use this kind of variable, it would have saved gas, that kind of stuff. I encourage everyone to go look at those audits. So we definitely have been taking a very, very serious security-first approach since all of that to ensure that nothing like that ever happens again. Because let me tell you, man, Surge was insane. In 2 days, we had 12,000 holders, $6 million invested in the token. It was just blowing up. And we were about to take over the world with how we were doing things. And when this happened, it cut everything off in its tracks, like entirely. Made people think Surge was a scam, think the algorithm didn't work, think that this whole idea that we pushed of a completely decentralized DeFi ecosystem, it made it just seem impossible. So we know, us here that are still in Surge and us here that still hold Surge, we know that it's real, we know its potential, and it's definitely unfortunate that slowed us down, but I'm definitely not throwing my hands up anytime soon. I think what we have here is insanely unique, and there is nothing like it currently on the market. So I'm going to keep running with this, especially with all the new integrations we're having with all these other DeFi sectors, especially like yield farming. The XUSD yield farm has been insane, and a bunch of stuff like that has been bringing back a bunch of confidence, not only to us but to our investors. And I'm very confident that soon everything that happened back then will just be a bad memory.
Mark, I got 2 questions. My first question is, I'm sure people right now are listening to this and they're kind of, somewhat disbelief as I was on the phone last night with you guys. So where could they find the chart for, XSurge?
So there's a chart for XUSD on KuCoin, but since the other tokens can't be on exchanges, you can't actually track their price on KuCoin. There has been a few services that do track the price though. We do have an API on xsurge.net. As of right now, we just updated the website and those charts aren't there, but you can download, if you want to, the Useless app. The people over at Useless have a charting app that they developed, and they have been tracking the price of Surge since day one. So they have a full accurate graph of Surge's price movements since the day one in August. So that has the best data, I would say. Out of everything we have right now, Useless's graphs are definitely the most accurate data because they've been tracking since the very first day. But if you want to see something easier, if you can go onto PooCoin, you can check out the price of XUSD. So here's one differential I'll make. On PancakeSwap, prices of tokens can go up and down. That's just how it works. So you might have been confused when I said XUSD is on PancakeSwap, because my whole thing before was saying how surges can't be on exchanges. XUSD is the one exception. It is built for exchanges, entirely for exchanges. So that one will be in potentially thousands or hundreds of different liquidity pools, and that's for the mutually beneficial crypto volatility I was talking about before. So XUSD does have a chart available, but what you'll notice is it bounces up and down really close to the right value. As you'll see, it starts at $1 and bounces up and down as it slowly increases and slowly slants upwards. As the actual internal price of XUSD goes up, it drags the chart with it. So
So you
it's a
just
pretty
have
funny graph to see, but
you just have a steady ascending line. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I mean, I encourage everyone to go check it out. It's pretty funny looking. It basically just bounces up and down, and it's trending upwards as surge goes up in value. So at the very beginning, it was bouncing around between $1.02 and 98 cents when it was $1, and now that we're up to $1.04, it bounces around between $1.02 and $1.06, and it'll continue to do this as surge gains in value. So you should see it slowly just over time. When we can zoom out on this graph, it should look more and more like a linear slope upwards.
I can testify to that. I looked at the chart last night. It is exactly what Mark is saying. Mark, thanks for that. But aside from that last question, my next question is, as we know, branding is absolutely everything. How you brand yourself, your company, your token, whatnot. Was there any fear, in branding XSurge as XSurge, being at what happened to Surge? I'm surprised you didn't create a different token with a different name.
Yeah, I mean, we already had two other variants out when the exploit happened. We had Surge Ethereum and we had Surge USD, and these two were completely impervious to the vulnerability that the first token had. And we didn't, and there's still a lot of holders and people invested in those, and we didn't necessarily want to just say they didn't exist and like recreate them under a new name. Surge Ethereum had around $2 million in it still, and we definitely didn't want to further add to any of that. But that is a good question. We definitely considered rebranding and just starting out with a new name, but at the end of the day, we loved Surge, we loved the other tokens, and I didn't want it to seem like we were hiding from anything. Developers make mistakes, people make mistakes, and we're paying for those mistakes, and we're trying to make it right. But we're Surge, and we have been Surge, and we're definitely gonna continue as that. But that's definitely a good point, and it was definitely a big part of conversation for a while. I forgot, it might have been myself who was too stubborn to end up changing the name. Probably was.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something to that.
Thanks, Mark.
If you guys have ever heard of Ethereum Classic, that was actually the result of an exploit that occurred on the Ethereum blockchain. Look up the DAO. Look up the Ethereum DAO. It's a pretty fascinating story, but millions and millions of dollars were taken in that exploit. And Ethereum Classic was the original contract after that incident had occurred, and they're still long living. Sometimes these things happen, sometimes exploits occur, and changing the name isn't going to change anything. As a matter of fact, if you look at it, it's not really as beneficial for the community, and we wanted to stay here for this community. We're not going to abandon our people. So the best move, honestly, that we could have made, I could not see it any other way, is continuing where we started. We don't want to leave this community behind. We're here for this community, and we're going to do everything in our power to ensure that this project is successful and the people are paid in full in the end. But I'd like to make a quick announcement real quick, if you guys don't mind. I just want to put this out there. Our DApp V2 just launched. Our new website just launched. And our white paper just launched. I posted it under this Twitter handle. If you look at the latest tweet,
I posted up top.
Absolutely, hell yeah. I'm not sure how to post tweets and spaces, so you'll have to forgive me on that end. But yeah, it's the very last tweet I tweeted, man. My white paper, the white paper is posted out. on our Twitter.
Awesome, Blue. Thank you so much. Thanks for that update. Yeah. So the V2 of the DApp is out. This will tell you all your current Surge holdings, let you buy, sell, or stake assets into Surge, and more importantly, let you see your farming rewards. Farming is a new area of Surge where you can get paid passively in XUSD for providing liquidity across its various trading pools. So it's a way to just earn passive income while you lock up your tokens. And it's really cool, and it's been knocking it out of the park. So far, the farm's been around for 12 days, and it already has a 2% APY, 2% return in 12 days, and the return is an appreciating stablecoin. So I've been very excited about that. A lot of people who have been farmers, big farmers in XUSD, have been loving the rewards. So I'm very happy that that's on the website as well.
So Mark, are there any other products like this?
I don't know if anyone's copied me since we first created it, but in its inception, no. I looked everywhere for something like this, and I could not see anything. It was a completely organic and original idea that myself and actually the CEO of Useless, Kark, me and him were the one that finally spitballed it. We weren't even trying to create a token that can't go down in price. We were just trying to create a token that was 100% backed with liquidity and has an internal liquidity pool. That was what we were originally trying to create. And after we created it, we noticed the side effect, and we just thought it was a bug. We thought something went wrong until we really tested it so much and ran simulations in other languages, just trying to see how this would behave in different market instances.
Awesome. To date, how much of the relief fund has been recovered?
Just under, I think, 1.5% to 2%, right in that range. So definitely not a crap ton, but enough to where we're still very motivated and know that we're going to get it paid back. It's only been a few months, and none of our major products are out yet. So the fact that we have 2% paid back, and this is just from allocations inside the Surge tokens themselves. So Surge Bitcoin and Surge ADA, they give allocations to Surge Fund when they're bought, sold, and transferred. So just with the Surge token allocations, we've paid back 2% of the Surge Fund. When the DEX is out, the factory's out, the yield farm is optimized, there's going to be a lot more kickbacks there, and hopefully we can drive up that volume and get that paid back sooner than later.
I wanted to add to that. We also have allocated some funding from extra events that we've hosted, donating events, in which people have bid on these coins that we've had hosting in the Discord server. So we have these real Surge
physical coins.
Yeah, real physical coins that our coin creator Kev has put together for us, and he decided to get with us and set up a little system to where we could get an auction thing going in the Discord, and we made some funding from that as well. That was allocated to the Surge Fund. 30% of the profit went to the coin maker, and 70% of all profit went to the Surge Fund to pay off the debt. As well, we've also had some NFT organizations collaborate with us and put some NFTs on the market in which they donated percentages, or even in some cases 100% of all revenue to the Surge Fund. So we have had a little bit of extra funding coming from that as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely been a community effort. A lot of the people in DeFi have stood up to help us with this, and it's truly been incredible. There's a couple things we're trying to do that could be fun, little ways to help incentivize donations. Hack over here, Malord, he helped set up, he's currently setting up this way to have a generative NFT given to your wallet based on the size of your donation. So if you were to make a large donation to Surge Fund, you could get a very rare Surge Fund NFT minted to you. Just little things like that, trying to spur up donations, but with the actual profitability of the ecosystem itself also does have allocations to Surge Fund. But I do like these little community events and fun things like that to try to raise involvement and raise donations.
So I was a little late in getting in here. I got stuck in a meeting, but I apologize for being late. But I did want to come in here and speak on Mark's behalf a little bit. Just I've been very vocal since the beginning of this thing. Even whenever he first created this thing, I mean, from an economic standpoint, the thing just scared me. Like, I didn't understand how it could work like that, but I thought it was purely innovative, and I put a pretty large sum in there because I wanted to back the innovation that was happening in this space. And I still believe in the pure innovation that's coming out of this group over here. And whenever we launched the Martians, we wanted to make sure that we backed what they were doing with the relief fund. Whether you believe in or don't believe in what happened with Surge, there was a lot of people that got hurt in that hack, and we wanted to try to help and make them whole. So we got with Mark, and we made sure that 15% of what happens with the Martian collection is going back to help make the holders of Surge whole, which at a 10,000 piece collection should be a pretty large sum of money that's coming towards that. We have several other NFT projects that are in the works that will be giving a portion back as well. But it's purely because we want to see them get back on their feet. We believe in the innovation and the stepping outside of the box mentality that these guys put out there that we want to see come to this space. So we really appreciate what you do, Mark, and we just wanted to step in this space and make sure we stood up for what was going on.
Hell yeah, Diablo. Thank you so much. Yeah, Diablo's been just one of the people too who's really stepped up to try to help with this objective that we have. And DeFi is stronger united, and the more people that come together and help, the easier it'll be, the quicker it'll be paid off. So thank you so much, Diablo, for all your time, energy, efforts, and considerations for other people. It's really awesome to see.
Absolutely.
Guys, I just want to say, Diablo, thanks for joining us. I just want to say two things. The first thing, we have a bunch of requests coming up, guys. Please be patient. We will bring you guys up at the end of the space, and your patience is greatly appreciated. The second announcement being, Mark, we're good to do the giveaway at the end of the space, correct?
Oh yeah, we can still do that. I didn't announce it, but
okay,
I guess we got one. We got a giveaway. I didn't want to do it, but I had no idea how to set it up. I don't have any random number generator.
Okay, yeah, Mark, we'll just do it off the hop. If you want to put out a tweet, everybody can retweet it, all that good stuff, and Tech can get a randomizer out. We can have the randomizer and let it do its thing.
Awesome, I'll do that right now.
Can you state the amount, Mark, just for the people in the audience are aware?
Sure, yeah. I'll be giving out 500 XUSD to the winner of the giveaway. XUSD is currently at $1.04, so that's about 520 BUSD. Of course, you could always hold this XUSD, and as it goes up in value, so would your redeemable amount. XUSD's done some great things lately, so we're definitely trying to spread that out to people and get them to see the real benefit there, because it's a truly incredible token. It's definitely one of my top favorites of anything I've ever created. And appreciating stablecoin. I mean, come on. So yeah, we'll be giving out 500 XUSD.
Mark, and the process is pretty simplistic. Like the rest of the tokens, you just copy paste the address and you get airdrop the tokens, correct?
Yeah. So you mean like for the giveaway?
Yes.
Yep. I'll just send it right over to the winner. Okay, I'll get this tweet set up now.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll post it up top, and then people have the rest of the space to like, comment, retweet.
Yeah, I'll say
I'll
say this about Mark. Initially, things smelled a little funny in the air, right? Because the assumption in this environment right now with anything in the altcoin or shitcoin game is that once the liquidity disappears, the devs are responsible for that, and I feel like that was the perception for a while. But Mark has stuck around. He's helped out with some of the projects that Diablo has been leading, and I've been interacting with him in the background. So for him not to run away, for him to set up all these processes and building these things to make those who lost whole, that goes a long way. Definitely goes a long way. There's no doubt that what he's doing is innovative, right? Obviously, it doesn't go down because of the tax. It just makes sense, right? And the fact that he's minting and burning, these concepts just add up. I've been hacked too in life, right? I think the stakes were a little different. It's really easy to roll out smart contracts nowadays. And I think he learned a valuable lesson.
Oh, absolutely, man. I can't even. I said this earlier, but I really can't even describe how much I've learned since that happened. just the quality of work for myself, I feel like has increased 100-fold. I'm sure other people could attest to that too. Sometimes you really need a wake-up call. I had never even done my research on vulnerabilities or attacks that could be possible. Once that happened, I learned all of them. I consider myself a Solidity ninja now because I feel like I'm very well versed in everything about that language. And maybe if the hack had never happened, I wouldn't have been inspired to keep learning and really nail down everything. Not saying that it was a good thing, but
it could have been worse. It could have been worse. They could have got you with a bigger, with a bigger.
Yeah, we could have kept going. We could have kept
Would've kept
advertising.
going.
Could have kept marketing. Yeah, it could have been 10 million. So
It could have been
definitely.
10 or 100 million.
Stuff like that
Sometimes-
happens all the time. I mean, You're in Finance was just hacked 2 days ago for the 10th time. Actually, they were hacked 2 days ago for $130 million. It's terrifying. It's scary. There's a lot of stuff and in DeFi, and if you don't have enough security and enough eyes peer reviewing your source code, you're at risk. So that's definitely one of the biggest things that I've taken away is even though I think I'm a pretty good developer, everyone misses things, and giving it to a team like Certic, where they can run market analysis on it, they can run simulations, they have a team of at least 5 engineers, really pick through line by line and really run all the logic circuits and make sure there's no holes. It really adds like an incredible amount of value knowing that what you're releasing is safe, or at least to the extent that humanity understands DeFi at this point. Because you can never say anything is 100% safe, because there's always there's always something new that could happen. There's always some new exploit that has never been done before that could be possible. Everything in this space everything's a risk. Nothing is ever fully void of any risk. There's things you can do to mitigate risk and be responsible to prevent risk. But at the end of the day, crypto is a fast growing space, and pretty much anything's possible at this point.
So what's the process like? I buy $1,000 worth of any one of the X tokens. How do I, or the X product? How do I view my balance? What's the process to do that? Because you're breaking from the traditional paradigm of the infrastructure that's already set up, all these DEX aggregators that point to PancakeSwap, Uniswap, and if the token has enough traction, it gets listed on some of the price aggregators. What's that look like for someone outside looking in? I'm thinking about doing it, but if it, I'm not too familiar with this because I'm already a crypto noob. I'm already struggling with the traditional stuff. How does XSurge make it easier to see this type of information?
So in terms of the older variants, one of the bigger stepping stones that needs to be overcome is checking your balance, which is what you said. So our website and our DApp really helps this a lot. You just have to sign into the DApp, and it'll tell you everything you need to know about all your balances, all their amounts, and everything like that. With XUSD, however, we're actually in the middle of applying to CoinMarketCap as we speak, and that should hopefully happen within the near future. And so that means you could actually see the live price of XUSD within your wallet, which is definitely really helpful. But a nice shorthand. So otherwise, you'd have to actually ask the blockchain what the price is, which of course isn't efficient. So we're doing everything we can to get these charting applications out there. Useless started charting for us. We're putting our charts back on our website. We're working with CoinMarketCap, so hopefully we can get all of that data there so everyone can see everything they need to know. Otherwise, one thing that I would do that might help is to remember the price of the token when you bought it. So for instance, Surge Ethereum right now is 0.0085 Ethereum. So when you buy it, if you just remember that and at a later point can check and see what Surge Ethereum's worth, you can calculate exactly how much Ethereum you own in it. So if Ethereum right now is 0.0085, when it goes up to 0.01, you've made that much difference in Ethereum. So it does take a little bit more work and a little bit more thinking until we can really get in front of all these price aggregators like CoinMarketCap and get all the current prices for all the tokens. But here's our number one solution right now. XUSD, the one we just mentioned, that will have a price associated with it. All the other Surge tokens will be paired with XUSD in trading pools. Originally, it's just going to be on PancakeSwap, But when our DEX is live, it's going to be on the Surge DEX. So that's going to be the only pairing for the other Surge tokens. The other Surge tokens will be swappable only for XUSD. So what that means is if we know the price of XUSD, we can accurately tell the price of all the other Surge tokens that use XUSD as their underlying value in liquidity pools. So once we get XUSD's price known by getting it on BSC scan, by getting it on CoinMarketCap, all those places, we can actually know the value of all the other tokens by putting them in trading pools. So that's our current strategy right now for how do we get the price of Surge in everyone's wallet for all the different tokens.
I would like to also add. So hi everyone, my name is Malord. I'm a developer on the Surge team. So one of the plans for the decentralized application is to basically use this as the basis for our DEX. And with the DEX, one of the things that we kind of recognize with Surge, especially with how this thing is wrapped and how the price is appreciating compared to the underlying assets, is essentially it basically creates like a hedge against the underlying asset. So it allows for like if the underlying coin is going up, you make more. If the underlying coin goes down, you lose less. So it's almost like trading on easy mode in a way, based off of the volume of people buying and selling the Surge token. So what we want to do is basically make the DEX more available also for people. And part of that is creating kind of easier mechanisms and creating a layout that's more familiar for people not necessarily familiar with the crypto space. So the more institutional investors or like the people who've been trading in the regular stock market and are questioning about getting into crypto. And so one of the things that we've been talking about on the side is potentially turning the testnet into a paper trade account to allow you to test the contracts and test the trades and see it in action without having to actually put in money first. That's definitely, it's further down the line, but we're already starting to think about these type of things because we really want to open it and make it available for a lot of people to like get involved and really show like how cool the space is.
Absolutely, and the hedging thing is a really good point too that I definitely forgot to touch on at all. An asset that is Surge is a hedge against an asset by getting more of that asset. So for an example, this is a really good example. When Surge Ethereum first launched, ETH was worth $3,200. About 2 weeks after, the price of Ethereum had fallen down to around $2,800. So it lost about $400. People were down around 11% on their Ethereum. But Surge Ethereum had risen 18% in that time frame. So anyone who bought Surge Ethereum, despite Ethereum being $400 less, were actually up 11% on their investment overall. So despite Ethereum going down, they were rewarded with more Ethereum, and it completely offset their losses. And now Ethereum, when it went back to 3,200, they just had more Ethereum. And now as it's exploding near 5,000, that Ethereum is still appreciating and it's worth more. So it's definitely a really good hedge.
Hey, I just wanted to put this out there too, as far as checking the value of your assets when you're holding Surge tokens. We actually have some of the greatest integrations developers in the space, I promise you. And they put together this amazing tool. It's called the Surge Profit Tracker Bot. If you join our Discord and you send this bot a DM that says calculate, it's just a private message if you guys aren't familiar with Discord. It'll actually give you it'll give you a 100% full-on report, a rundown of the total amount that you purchased, the total amount that you purchased in the backing asset. So like the total amount I purchased in the US dollar value and the total amount I purchased in the Ethereum value if I bought Surge Ethereum. And then it'll tell you the amount that you've sold up to this point, the current value after you sell it, that's after tax, and the total amount in Ethereum that you receive after you decide to sell it. And it tells you your overall profit. in all of these fields. So we have these like amazing tools. We've got one for the Surge Fund as well that gives you a full-on rundown report of the current status of the Surge Fund, like how much has been paid off up to this point, how much has been donated, and the total amount in the pool currently. And we also have one for the yield farm as well for XUSD. If you're staking, it tells you what your rewards are and how much you can claim. So I encourage everybody here, if you're not a member of our Discord yet, we have all of these amazing tools available for everybody to use at their discretion. If they want to join our Discord, I'll post a link. I'll post another link at the top as well if Andrew can help me out with that.
Sure, Lou. Just tweet the link out and I'll post it up top.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Definitely a great shout out to Blue. Very, very important. The bots that have been created in the Surge Discord are very helpful, and they tell you pretty much all the information you'd ever want to know about your current holdings and stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely very cool. The whole Surge ecosystem is very new. It's like staking without impermanent loss, except the impermanent loss is understood and realized at the start. You know how much you could lose. Like for XUSD, the most you can lose if you buy it on PancakeSwap and then you sell it, the most you can lose is 0.5%. And that's constant, that's hedged. And that is only assuming you buy it and then you immediately sell it right after. You would lose 0.5%. Every transaction that happens after your buy raises the value of the token and gets you closer and closer to that goal. And once you're over that 0.5% threshold, it's all profit from there. So it's a minimized downside that is realized at the start with pretty much unlimited, I don't want to say unlimited, but not capped upside, because the price of Surge will continue to appreciate without an upper bound.
Mark, where do you see Surge, being in the next 5-10 years?
If everything goes exactly according to plan, I see XUSD being the main trading pair across all exchanges. I see people saying, why the hell are we using USDT when we could use XUSD? Because XUSD will actually raise the value of anything paired with it. So if you want to launch a new token, say you make Andrew token and you want to launch it, you could launch it pegged to BNB, you could launch it pegged to USDT, but if you peg it to BNB, you gain extra volatility where you might not want it. If you pair your token with BNB on PancakeSwap, the price of your token is fully valued in BNB. That means if BNB goes down, so does the value of your token, because that's what it derives value from. If you peg it with USDT, it doesn't go up or down, except if it's bought or sold, and it is more like real supply and demand. However, if you peg it with XUSD, since XUSD can't go down, you'll never have that negative pressure applying to your coin. Instead, when XUSD goes up, it actually raises the value of the asset that's using it as the underlying asset. So if you had Andrew coin and XUSD in a pool, and XUSD goes up 10%, nobody even needs to buy Andrew coin, and it would also go up 10% because its backing asset became more valuable. So the overall vision I see for XUSD is not only being the optimal credit lending service of DeFi, but a facilitator and a liquidity backing that raises all tokens up with it. The whole thing about XUSD is every time it's traded, every single time, its price goes up. So we're putting it in as many liquidity pools as possible. Anytime the price of BNB, Bitcoin, Ethereum, any of these goes up or down by 1%, you can trade XUSD for it for profit. It's called arbitrage, and it's a style of trading that's been around for a long time. It originated with Forex. It moved into now it's moved into crypto. Arbitrage is huge. I encourage you guys to look it up if it's a new term. But basically what it does is it corrects price differences on different exchanges. So through this price correction, XUSD is transferred as a result. To correct the price on an exchange, you have to buy it where it's cheaper and sell it where it's more expensive. And if you do this, you make a profit. And what it also does is it applies selling pressure to the exchange that's more expensive, and it provides buying pressure to the exchange where it's cheaper until the price reaches equilibrium across all exchanges. And every time XUSD is bought or sold, its price rises. So the more arbitrage opportunities in XUSD, the more it will appreciate in value. So this is why we say XUSD is mutually benefited by arbitrage, by volatility. As cryptocurrency goes up or goes down, XUSD will fuel itself from that, and it will rise.
No, good stuff. Good stuff.
Mark, so you've definitely spoken a lot tonight. Tried breaking down to the best of your ability. But I know that you have a video coming out regarding the XSurge token and how the whole process works, where you kind of dive deeper into all that good stuff. Did you have a chance to upload it yet?
Just me.
Matt, send him
Can
a text.
anyone else hear me?
Can hear us. Yeah, Mark, we hear you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
It's like he's having some technical difficulties.
He got stuck on his own blockchain,
that I'm doing that.
Hey, on the video though, he is currently in the process of working that out. It should be posted tonight. It's he's doing the finishing touches and editing on it right now. I'll send him a message though to let him know he's having some technical difficulties. He'll probably hop back in a second. He might have to leave for a minute.
Yeah, just let him know. So for those that are still curious about the project as I am, and you kind of didn't understand Mark, it is a lot to take in. We do understand. He'll be posting a video tonight, as as previously stated, that you guys can look in more in depthly. And Mark did tell me yesterday that he's trying to keep it to under 8 minutes, so you guys won't spend an hour and a half trying to watch a video on YouTube. It's pretty short, which is definitely appreciated. So
yeah.
that's
I'll
awesome.
say this: after listening to Mark, the fundamentals are there, right? And this isn't something that just a bunch of tokens sitting out on PancakeSwap. It makes sense that if you tax something up front, you're always leaving a little bit behind, and over time with volume, that continues to add up. From the concept of how they describe that the price can only go up, right? It's there's two sides to that. It's almost like if you believe in Bitcoin and you started off with one Bitcoin, your Bitcoin is going to compound. Mark can't control the value of what Bitcoin or BNB is going to do, but he's explaining that if those things do go up, there's opportunity for you to do things and trade them in places if you're experienced. But if you start off with a certain amount of a token, you're going to grow that token amount. So from a fundamentals perspective, it makes sense. It's a shame that we had to learn a lesson a few months ago, but in those things, there's silver linings that make you better and make you stronger over the course of time. So big kudos to Mark from my perspective for not running from this and for continuing the journey and coming up here and explaining it. I have a little more clarity. When in the circles of Twitter, when things run around and someone is telling you, hey, someone created something that you just send your BNB to and it just goes up and it never goes down, that sounds like a crock of shit. Just to be frank. But you explaining that there's a tax, and the taxes make sense. It just means that with every transaction, there's a drip of what was done that's being embedded permanently into that contract.
Yes, sir.
So no, kudos to you, man. Keep going forward. I might buy some tonight. I might send you some.
Absolutely.
Mark. So I'm gonna ask a question here. Is there any what's the word? Is there any flaw with the current contract?
No, not that myself or Certic has seen or come up with, at least.
Are these also renounced contracts, or did you leave it out in case
the XUSD contract is not renounced, and that is because we're using it right now to exempt the different pairing pools from taxation. So you can actually stake your XUSD without getting hit with taxation. And in order for us to be able to allow for that, we do have one owner function in XUSD that allows us to exempt staking contracts from the fee.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it makes sense. You want to have control this early. Maybe in the future you evolve to a DAO or something where everyone votes as to what gets exempted and whatnot.
Oh, exactly. So we've actually already started creating the initial structure for a DAO. I personally would rather wait until there is more people in it, so that the DAO is less susceptible to one person pretty much controlling all of the surge token operations. But that is absolutely something we've been talking about for a while, because the whole thing about Surge is it being completely community owned and decentralized. So nothing screams that more than a DAO. So yeah, that's 100% where we're going with it. Absolutely. But just for now, it's owned by the multi-signature wallet to exempt different things as necessary. But yeah, and thanks for clearing that up. And I'm sorry I cut out for a minute there. I didn't really get to hear your question about the video. But what I can say about it is it's going to be out tonight or tomorrow, and it's going to be great. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet for everyone, and I try to explain all these concepts with a little bit of a visual aid to try to help it be more digestible.
That's awesome, Mark. Yeah, I had mentioned that before you got stuck on your own blockchain.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I thought it was you. I kept talking, but then Matt came in and told me no one could hear me.
So to speak frankly, though, your project could be an overnight success with volume and virality.
Right now it's pretty much just how do we get this in front of people and have them understand it and not just call it a Ponzi scheme and run away. The main thing about it is, so the funniest thing is when people do call it a Ponzi scheme, it really is the opposite. So it would only be a Ponzi scheme if, for instance, only buys raise the value because you would need new buy pressure constantly, or if the first to buy always gets the best. But with Surge, it's a little bit different. It's not the first to buy gets the best deal. It's the last to sell who gets the best deal. So it's actually the inverse of a pyramid scheme where the early buyers get all the profit and everyone that comes in later is SOL. In this kind of a system, it's the last person to cash out that really makes the most bang for his buck. So it's really cool, and it's something we definitely need to just focus on education and pretty much promoting it. I mean, the contracts are here. You can see them work. They've been working for 4 months now. It's all about just getting it in front of people. And as in terms of the overnight success thing, what really needs to happen for Surge is liquidity pairing, and that's why the yield farm is what it is. The more XUSD we have inside of trading pools, the more it goes up or down from volatility. So in an instance where 100% of XUSD is in trading pools, which isn't feasible, that's never going to happen, but if it did, nobody would be buying and selling it. So its price would never need to rely on volume. Its price would entirely rely on volatility. So every time BNB or Bitcoin or any token it's paired with goes up or down, XUSD will be traded and its value will go up. And it doesn't even have to do with people buying it. So that's the real beauty behind XUSD is you don't need a bunch of new buys or a bunch of new sells or a bunch of new transfers. You can almost assume it to be happening on a daily basis because of arbitrage. And you can actually see it work like this. We have an arbitrage bot that checks the XUSD pool, BNB pool, constantly. That checks the BNB XUSD pool constantly and corrects price differences when they arise, which is really cool. And I can link that bot up above so you guys can see it work. But you'll literally see probably like 8, 9, 10 times a day, it's getting triggered and buying different things from various exchanges and exchanging it for XUSD in a way that brings up profit. And it really, even though our liquidity pool is so small, it brings about 5% of the pool in volume daily. So for instance, our liquidity pool right now has about $140,000 worth in it. And we get about 5% of that as arbitrage volume daily from crypto going up or down. And so that volume, that's not even people buying. That's not new people buying, new people selling. That's just crypto being crypto. And we can benefit off of that entirely. And so the more volume, the more assets we get into these trading pools, the more volatility drives us. So for instance, right now we have 140,000, 5% of that's what, $7,000 or it's like $7,000 or something. Imagine if we have $100 million, then it's $5 million in volume every day. And that much more money getting left in the contract and going towards the price appreciation.
So for the average investor who isn't into arbitrage and doesn't have the time to be monitoring markets and all that stuff, this is a project where the earlier you're in, the better you will be if you're a holder, simply. Is that correct?
It's a project where the longer you hold, the better you will be. Getting in early definitely helps. I mean, considering the price can go down, getting it cheaper is obviously better, but it's not necessarily the early ones are the only ones that benefit. If you can outlast everyone in there, you will make your profit back. So just as an example, if you were to buy Surge and then everyone else sells it right after you, the effect of their sells would bring you way above your profit zone that you need to break even in. So just so you just for information. So if you were to buy in and your whole worry is maybe there's not going to be enough volume for me to make my profit back, if everyone sells, the price will go up by 2 times the fee. That's just how the math works. So if that happens, you get your profitability zone right away. So there really is no instance where you'll be left holding the bag unless you paper hands it.
Awesome. Good stuff, Mark. I feel like you've done a great job conveying the message today and breaking it down in layman's terms.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel my best. You guys
Tech,
asked some great questions too.
Tech, can we get this giveaway going? If you can set up the randomizer, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, this has been a great space, guys. Thank you so much. Awesome questions too. I've loved being able to break things down the best I can. It is very hard to visualize these things when you just hear voices. So hopefully the video coming out in the very near future will really help drive some of these points home.
Yeah, and
Marco, people have.
I'm sorry, man. I really encourage you guys to go look at the white paper as well and Mark's video when that gets released. In the white paper, we've compiled a visual aid for just about every specific entity, like from the asset variance to the XUSD and all of that stuff. And we've got a lot of visual aids in there to help explain these types of things, especially on the variance, like how the basics on how it works. So if you would just take a look at that. A pictures are worth 1,000 words, and we've got all the words in there as well to explain exactly how this works in a very comprehensive way. And just everybody on the team has really been a help in breaking this down comprehensively for the baseline investor, so that it really is very understandable when you're trying to figure out how these things work. But I've got that posted on there as well. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Andrew.
I was just gonna say, yeah, Mark. So for those people that have more questions following the space, where can they ask those questions in the Discord? Can they DM you directly?
The best place would definitely be the Discord. We got a good amount of moderators, and Blue's in there a lot too. He'll always be able to answer your questions, or if it's something that he doesn't necessarily have the answer to right away, he can always ask me as well. Otherwise, my Discord DMs, I check much more frequently and would be able to respond a lot more often to everyone on. But yeah, the Surge Discord's a great resource. You could even DM or message the Surge Twitter that Blue's on right now, the XSurge DeFi Twitter.
Quick question: how many winners for the 500? Are they splitting that 500?
I was gonna do one, but we could do a few if you want.
Yeah, bro, do a few. That way, it gets in a few people's hands.
All right, yeah, we can do 5 winners.
5 winners.
Yeah, 100 XUSD each.
And I'm gonna run this. I'm gonna cut loose because I got Mooney Mondays to hold down. But I appreciate talking to you.
Awesome. Yeah. No, thank you. You've been a big help too, helping especially break it down a little bit further. Like the way you explained, it's perfect. Yeah. There's every time it moves, a little bit of a tax is left boosting the price. That's a very minimalist way to put it, and it really just drives the whole point home. So thank you for that too.
Yes, sir. All right, the randomized run-in Forte, I'll send it to you once it runs. Good luck to XSurge. I'll get in. I'm getting Hex vibes, and it's one of those things that I wish I would have gotten earlier, but it makes sense. You're minting, you're burning, you're baking in a little bit of everyone's transaction. I mean, everyone's value with every transaction. So the longer you hold, the better you'll be off. So, hey, Mark, good luck to you, brother.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate you, bro.
Have a good one, man. Thank you.
Good to meet you, brother.
I got to jump too because I got to go help Tech. But man, I just wanted to congratulate you on everything, man. Keep pushing forward and know that the community's behind you.
Thanks, Diablo. I appreciate it, my man. But yeah, go make sure Tech's all right, and we will. We'll get that giveaway underway. But thanks for coming through and giving your 2 cents and the great words about Surge Fund and everything you're trying to do to help as well. Always appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate everything you guys do. Talk to y'all later.
Thanks,
Later,
Diablo.
brother.
So, guys, in the meantime, Tex sends me the list. I'll bring some people up, guys. Please avoid questions related to price and price prediction. If you really bring those up, I'm just gonna toss you off the cliff, and I feel no ways. But please make sure they're appropriate. I'll bring you guys up now.
Andrew.
What's up, Matt?
His mic's fucking up. Don't worry about it.
I think he fell off.
Yeah, his mic's not working right now.
He's connecting now. I can see him.
We got DeFi George, and we got JY.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you, George.
God damn it, I missed Tech. I wanted Tech to be there. I was gonna tell him he has to look at XSurge and somehow get X Mooney backed by XUSD. That's the future right there.
Oh yeah, man. Everything's gonna be backed by XUSD once the education's out and once people can see it ripping, see it doing its thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, even if nobody bought or sold X Mooney, the price will go up just by XUSD going up. But the next thing I wanted to say is for the rest of the people here, because it's a big audience. The exploit was brought up, and I just wanted to say from personal experience, I was impacted by the hack. I lost 70 BNB, and I just wanted to say everyone that Mark stuck around, and because of that, he didn't give up, and I recovered 5 BNB out of those 70. So it's not even half yet, but little by little, he's chipping in there. So I just give it up to him, and every time there's a space or anything where I can give my experience, I come in here, and I just admire the guy, man. Just sticking with the community, that is what it's all about.
Awesome. Thank you so much, George. Yeah, I appreciate that, my man. George is one of our avid farmers over in the yield farming space for XUSD. It's awesome. Nice to see you. Nice to see you come up here. It's a nice, tight knit group of farmers. We haven't had too many people try out the yield farm yet, but those who have been doing it have been seeming to like it so far.
Thanks, George, man. We appreciate you coming by and asking a question.
Thanks, guys.
Next, we got JY. What's going on, JY?
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the stage. I just kind of echo what George was saying. I was in with the original BNB contract. I didn't have a lot in there, but the fact that you didn't cut and run is amazing, and I'll back any and every project you got going forward, just from that integrity piece. I wanted to say for the question, not really a question, it's more of like a statement. So I'm in with the Surge farm. I own all the Surge variants. I don't think you really touched on how you send Smart Chain BNB to the contract, and then just elaborate a little bit more on how the Surge farm works. Like when I sent my BNB, how I got the farming tokens back, and I've received profit from it. So yeah, I think it's great, and hopefully it gets some more traction because it's an awesome project.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I'm glad the farm's been doing well for you too. But yeah, that's definitely a very good a good point that we didn't mention. We said before that you can't buy Surge on exchanges. Well, you can buy XUSD, but you can't buy the other ones. So the way you buy them is actually you can route Smart Chain BNB. You can just send it directly to the Surge contract, and the Surge contract will convert it into the underlying asset and then mint you tokens. With some of our newer Surge variants, you have the option to also stake your asset. So for instance, if you have BUSD already, you can just stake your BUSD in to XUSD instead of needing to swap it for BNB and then send BNB in. But yeah, so the way to buy Surge is you have to provide capital to the Surge token itself. And based on how much value you provide it, that's how many tokens you get back. So that's a very good point. For pretty much all of the Surge things that we have, sending BNB directly to it, Smart Chain BNB, is how to purchase it. And the farm also has that attribute to it. So what the farm does is when you send it BNB, it splits that BNB in half, and it buys XUSD with one half of it, and it pairs that with the other half and adds it into a liquidity pool. And it locks the LP tokens you get back and gives you farm tokens representing your share of the overall farm. And once you have your farm tokens, you gain XUSD passively from every transaction that happens. So out of that 0.25% tax, 1/5 of it is reserved for farmers. So 1/5 of the tax is allocated to everyone who pairs liquidity in our approved pools. So people that just pair liquidity and leave it, they get XUSD coming back constantly, and they can either claim it or just let it sit and compound. And if they let it sit and compound, it is also XUSD. So it itself will be compounding and appreciating along with XUSD. So it's a really neat system that's been developed. And I love hearing the testimonies of farmers that come up and say they like farming. I love farming. I'm trying to make it more mainstream. Farmers only.
Thanks,
Farmers
JY.
only.
Thanks, Matt. Next,
You
we
don't
have
have to be lonely.
Todd, and then we have DeFi.
Okay, sorry.
Hey guys, thank you for
That was a good bar, Mark. That was a good bar.
You don't
You
have
guys
to be
hear me okay?
lonely. Farmers only.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay. Yep. Sorry.
Yes,
Todd.
we can, Todd.
All
We
right,
hear
cool.
you.
Thanks. I was just checking my DMs. I sent David a DM on September 12th telling him he needs to check out this kid, DeFi Mark. So I'm very, very happy that you've made it here and you're talking to these people because I think you're amazing. My only question I have for you is, will there be staking for the Surge BTC, the Surge ADA?
In terms of farming or staking your tokens into it?
Well, if we could farm it or stake it where we're earning additional interest on.
Yes. The answer is yes. That was supposed to be out today, but the DApp isn't quite set up for that, so we're putting that back a little bit. But very, very soon, once the DApp's set up to have multiple farms on it, you're going to be able to stake any Surge tokens with XUSD, and you're going to be able to earn both as passive income. So you'll be able to stake your Surge Bitcoin with your XUSD together in a pool, and you're going to receive both XUSD and Surge Bitcoin rewards for doing so.
That's awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. You're changing the space, and it's amazing. It's cool to see.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Todd. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Todd. Blue, I sent you the list of the winners. If you want to screenshot that and post it, so people can know that we're not just picking them out of a hat, or we're not just rigging it rather, and it's actually those are the winners. If you want to post it, that'd be super dope.
Awesome.
DeFi, what's going on, man?
Hey team, thanks for letting me come up and speak. I just like a quick comment and then a quick question. So first, I as someone with a couple engineering degrees and a background in math, I follow Mark a lot and I look at his contracts. I honestly, when they had that exploit in Surge BNB, a lot of people saw that as a problem. I saw that as an opportunity because Mark and his team, it's like getting a dev the quality of Papa for SafeMoon. A temporary time where he's persona non grata because of something that happened in the past, and literally this guy is solving problems in the DeFi space. It gave me the opportunity in a small community to invest in all the Surge tokens, their partner vault, everything that Mark's involved with. I see him solving problems in the crypto and especially the Binance Smart Chain. I think all the stuff that's happened hasn't even been realized. I think wrapping high tax tokens when you sell like SafeMoon or some of these reflection tokens on the Binance Smart Chain, you get huge taxes. But if you wrap them in Surge, and I don't even think this has been discovered yet, you can trade those tokens at a very low BSC tax, do the same thing effectively. And there's so many things that can happen in the Surge ecosystem. So my question is for Mark and the team, and I kind of want to put you on the spot here, but I'm very interested in it. So I am very interested in the decentralized exchange, and the reason being, I don't want to put my money to Binance. I don't want to give it to Coinbase. They own my tokens. I don't own my tokens, but I am very interested in how you guys are going to replace and I know this may be giving away some stuff that you're not ready to give away, but I want to put you on the spot and do it. How you're going to replace some of the functionality of these exchanges with the Surge token while still holding all your coins, not giving your coins over to a third party. And if you're able to answer that, I appreciate it.
Ha ha ha. Okay, you're right. You are putting me on the spot a little bit, and I'm gonna give away some secrets I might not want to. But the way that the Surge DEX will work is like a normal exchange. You are right. You won't have to give your tokens to Binance. You won't have to give them to Coinbase. They're owned by you and your wallet and only you, and you have full control over them. So that's obviously why we're choosing a DEX, because we're decentralized. You're not supposed to make. Yeah, I don't like centralized exchanges at all. So that's one of the biggest pushes. But how we do it is very important. And I don't want to get too much into the weeds on it, but more or less, what we've done with the Surge DEX and how we will facilitate trading and how we will be different from any of the other DEXs that have ever created before are because we made liquidity pool tokens into Surge tokens. So when you pair liquidity on an exchange, you get back an LP token, and that represents your pairing. Whether you paired BNB and ETH, USD and USDC, it doesn't matter. Any two tokens you want, you pair them together to be traded, and you get a token back representing your share of the two. That's basically what we do, but this LP token is a Surge token, and it goes up in value not only when people add liquidity or remove liquidity, but when people trade. So you can pair liquidity into this DEX, and it's going to be basically like having a Surge token of two variants. And this Surge token, this LP Surge token, will facilitate trading between the variants in a way that keeps the Surge rule, that the price always appreciates. But the difference here is, since we're dealing with liquidity pools and price is pretty arbitrary, it really is, honestly, the way that Surge LP works is it's not the price that always appreciates, it's the K value. It's the constant product of the two tokens in the pool. And I'm not trying to get too much into the weeds, but basically what that means is the constant product is the two quantities of the tokens that you provide. Say there's 1 million XUSD and 100 Bitcoin in a pool. It would be those two quantities multiplied together. The amount you can redeem from one Surge LP token will always appreciate in this constant product. So that's all I'll say for now. We've tested this a bunch. We've ran a bunch of simulations on it, and it works. And what it basically means is we have found a way to incentivize crypto communities to pair their own liquidity. So there's a lot of tokens out here nowadays that struggle with liquidity. That's one of their biggest things. They have a bull run, their liquidity dries up, and they have a super elastic chart that comes crashing down 80% when someone sells like a few $1,000s worth. That's what happens with low liquidity. What someone could do in that instance is create a pool on the Surge DEX, and all of a sudden their community can make profit from pairing liquidity and holding liquidity in the longest. In this instance, it's not whoever buys Surge first gets the best deals, whoever pairs liquidity first and whoever removes liquidity last. And every trade that goes on in these liquidity pools raises the value of the token. So it's like I said, I'm not trying to go too much into it, but we're working on a lot. We're really trying to hit, improve, and affect every single area of DeFi. I hope that helped answer your question.
And Mark, it did, obviously there's a lot more, but I appreciate it. Hey, at the risk of going over my time, can you cover the minting of Surge tokens by users? I don't think that was covered here, and I'm kind of interested in that.
You mean like how you can create your own?
Yeah, basically, if I'm a user, I can basically take your pre-approved contract, and I have, baby Floki Dodge, whatever, and I can actually wrap that in Surge without it, just because I'm a holder and I want to do it.
Absolutely. So that's the Surge factory. You're right. Yeah, we did leave a lot out of this. There's a lot, guys. I encourage you to read the white paper and check out the roadmap. But what the Surge factory is a way for us to step away from holding the reins of who makes Surge tokens. So right now we've made the Surge tokens. We've made ADA, Surge Bitcoin, Surge ETH, Surge Useless, and XUSD. But we can't just keep making tokens forever. And the fact that we're the only ones that make tokens seems centralized to me. And this is a decentralized product. So what I've created and what we're integrating into our application is called the Surge Factory, where anyone will be able to go to it and create a Surge variant for any underlying asset. If you guys want Surge SafeMoon, you got Surge SafeMoon. If you want Surge Floki, you got that. And there's going to be a bunch of different options to choose from for different things. So say your token is a taxed token, but you want your Surge people to gain the maximum benefit. We can create a contract for you to exempt from taxation so that people can buy and sell and trade the Surge variant tax-free. There's a bunch of cool stuff like that coming out so that we can really expand out into every area of DeFi and invite everyone in with open arms. And if you do create a token through our factory, you get automatically added to our DEX. Your token does, so people can see it as an option. They can buy it. They can sell it right from our DEX. I mean our DApp, and eventually it'll be listed on our DEX as well. So any token that's made through the factory comes with a pre-audit because the master copy that we're reproducing is audited. So every single Surge token that gets made from the factory, the whole community can know for 100% certainty that it is the same as the other tokens, and there is no malicious code snuck in there at all because it gets auto-generated by a smart contract. So that just adds a bunch of security to the space. It'll potentially give us the opportunity to get some funds for marketing, some funds for Surge Fund, and just bring everyone together as the dream is. And if we can get this master copy audited, which we're in the process of doing now, every other Surge token created will have that stamp of approval, that stamp of safety, and people can feel confident buying and selling it and trading it as they will.
Hey guys, I just want to put this out there. So we got the winners of the XUSD giveaway. Their names are Gerard Puchamp, Ray Ace, Lou Report, Pablo Salazar, and Quinto Rosa. If you'll hit us up, send me an instant message on Twitter or hit us up through our Discord server. We'll get your receive address routed to Mark, and we'll get the XUSD routed to your wallet.
If there's any confusion, guys, off what Blue said, I did post a tweet up top. So if that's your profile picture and that's your at, be sure to DM Blue or one of the Surge members.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that was a great question too. Super excited for the factory because what wouldn't be better Surge wrapped? And the best thing is DeFi communities, there's no negative to having a Surge wrap token. For one, it locks up a bunch of your assets. So for instance, our Surge useless, it's half the amount of useless inside of Surge useless is over half the amount of the burn wallet. Well, not over, about half the amount of the burn wallet. It is the largest Surge useless holder by far. It owns 12% of the supply. So what that means for them is that many tokens aren't being sold. And if they are sold, they sell the Surge token, which means all their holders get benefits. So it really does lock up their token. And there's no operation inside of the Surge token that sells the token. All it does is buy it when you send BNB to it, and it transfers it back when a user sells the token. Now, no operation in the Surge token actually sells the underlying asset. So any DeFi project out there would simply benefit from having a Surge token. So that's why we're making it acceptable and accessible for anyone to create one super easily. You just have to paste in the contract address and click go.
Thanks, Mark. Next, we have, I believe it's Crypto Spartan, and then we have Trevor.
Hey guys, hey Andrew, hey Jen, hey Mark. You guys are doing a fabulous job. So I have a couple of quick questions for Mark. I've asked this question for Jen, but I got an answer from her, but there is some kind of thing missing for me. So Mark, this is for you. So yesterday or a couple of days before, when I was researching about a project on Avalanche, I saw they saying the stablecoin XUSD. So even the stablecoin XUSD, which XSurge is doing, I am not really sure if that's a conflict, because even they said, I just, before asking this question to Jen on a different space, I thought, okay, this is a different blockchain, maybe that might work. But as you were explaining a lot of stuff into XUSD now, so I just wanted to really clear that out of mind. So is it going to be an obstacle like XUSD and XUSD coming on to like coin market cap and you know
Oh, sorry. So you're saying there is another token that has the name XUSD?
yes, but they haven't created it yet, but it is probably an avalanche chain. One of the
Okay.
when I was doing my research stuff, I got an answer from a Jen yesterday. But as you were speaking, like it is going on to coin market cap and all the stuff, like being a stable coin. What if even the other token, which I was when I was researching it, if they go on to coin market cap, do you see any conflicts going around or any other stuff?
So I do know for a fact that you can have multiple assets with the same name on CoinMarketCap. I know that that's a thing. So we could both be on there, and I know that it won't actually have a conflict with getting listed. If anything, it might add a little confusion, as people might mistake one XUSD for another. Um, but I definitely don't think that it'll impact at all us getting listed or doing any of the things that we want to do in the space.
Okay, thank you for that answer. That answers my question. The other question is I was just confused about the XUSD stuff because when you were saying if an asset like let's say a BTC goes up 1% or depreciate 1%, the whatever the thing XUSD is going to appreciate in value, right? But
Yes.
let's say if Bitcoin crashes to 80%, is it the same value that will be appreciating, or depending on whatever the percentage of the dip was, or whatever the percentage of the uprise of particular asset was, would
So
that be okay?
here's the best part. When crypto goes down, XUSD goes up the most because the operation to correct the arbitrage results in you having to sell the XUSD, and selling XUSD is way more beneficial to it than buying it. So when crypto crashes, XUSD skyrockets. When crypto goes up, it still goes up, but it's more buy pressure, so the growth is more logarithmic. But when crypto goes down, to correct the price difference, you have to sell a bunch of XUSD and correct that difference, and that will result in the price going up far greater. So whenever crypto has a recession or a down day, XUSD always sees the most upside.
So the percentage of the like XUSD, like you have any numbers on it, like how much, like say if BTC goes down by 30%, do you have any numbers on how much would the actual XUSD gain from it? Like
So that depends on the size of the liquidity pool um, that the certain trading pairing exists in, and that's why we have the yield farm, because the yield farm makes it so that people can gain rewards if they stake liquidity. So it incentivizes them to make those trading pools bigger and bigger. And the bigger the trading pool is, the more volume that's needed to correct a price difference. So, for instance, if the pool's really small, it only might be $1,000 in volume to correct the difference. But if the pool's like 100 times larger, it might be $200,000 in volume to correct a 2% difference. Right now, with the current very tiny pool we have right now, we have calculated that for a 2% price difference, we throw about 3 BNB of volume at XUSD at the current rate. And this is with a very, very tiny pool. I mean, we have like 200 holders and like 100 something liquidity providers. It is a very small pool, $73,000 of BNB inside of it. And still, with only a 2% movement from BNB, we can see at least 3 BNB or almost $2,000 of volume come in. And that's a large percentage of the pool. Like I said, it's about 5% for only a 2% price change of volume added. So as our pools get bigger, more and more and more and more volume will be needed to correct the difference, which will result in more and more appreciation for XUSD.
Thank you. One last question. I'm sorry, guys. I'm taking a little more time, but because the question I have is because I am feeling to want to get some more of it because I already in the previous spaces got some of it, but just before getting it, is there any actual numbers of XUSD that can exist, or is it like minting? Like I'm just a little behind in my research, so if you can just tell me like how many XUSD are going to exist in the future, or is it like constant, is it growing up?
So the total supply of XUSD depends on buy versus sell pressure. When someone buys it, more tokens get minted, and when someone sells it, the tokens get destroyed. So the actual supply is based on how many people are buying it versus how many people are selling it. In terms of a growth per to date, XUSD started at $1 flat, and right now it's about $1.04. So it's seen about a 4.1% growth over the last 12, 13 days, which is pretty nice for a very low fee token. My personal strategy is to put profits from successful trades into XUSD as you would putting them into BUSD to like hedge against crypto volatility. And it's way more fun than just holding BUSD because you can see the appreciation still. It's not like it's just sitting there. You can leave a bunch in and come back in 3 months and have more instead of it just being the same exact number. So it is fun for that. And yeah, I'm sorry. Did I miss a part of your question? I apologize if so.
No, you good. I'm just about to leave. So I actually forgot my question.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I encourage you to check it out. Check out check it out on PooCoin. One little thing I'll give you as a little hint is to actually mint new tokens when you send BNB to the contract itself. The minting fee is 0.75%. But if you buy it just from transferring, like on PancakeSwap, the fee is only 0.25%. So what I would do is I would look at the different pools. I would look at what the price is on PancakeSwap versus what it is internally inside of the contract. And based on which one's cheaper, you could decide which one you wanna enter into from, if that makes sense.
Okay, sure. Thanks. I got my question. So the question is about the yield farming. So is it like a compounding interest or just like interest for basis on like months or whatever particular time span?
So it's compounding in the sense that XUSD is the reward token and XUSD compounds. So based on the tax you get, the amount you get from the yield farm is based on total XUSD volume. Every buy, sell, and transfer contributes to the farm in this way. So it's global volume that drives your rewards. But the rewards themselves also appreciate. So if you've been staking into the farm so far, you would have seen about a 2% return in XUSD. And if that XUSD goes up to $10, that would be a 20% return without any other money actually coming into your account. So in that way, if you hold the XUSD you get as rewards, those will compound as XUSD goes up in value. But the number of rewards themselves don't compound. So you get a linear amount based on how much you have staked. If you own 50% of the trading pool, you get 50% of the entire allocation giving to that trading pool.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. You've been doing a great job answering all the questions. Thank you, everyone up in the panel. I'm going to step down, and that answers my question. I'm going to, trust with the project and go buy some more of it. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Crypto.
Thank you, Crypto. Last question. Sorry, we have Trevor, and then we have QR, and then we will wrap it up, guys.
If I have BEP20 Cardano, is there a way to put that into Surge ADA without converting it back to BNB?
So sadly, the staking feature was implemented right after ADA, at the contract directly after it. So the only way to get into Surge ADA is to use BNB to send into it, which is unfortunate because the staking feature is nice. It's nice to not have to convert it back to BNB first. But sadly for ADA, the only way is to buy it with BNB.
Thank you.
Yeah,
sorry,
absolutely.
I just have one last question. Sorry, I'm really sorry about this one. But
no worries.
Okay, so the XUSD or the XSurgents are going to be paired with the BNB for all the time. Like, are you going to a different blockchain or a XSurge blockchain, or you guys have any further plans for your future, or is it going to be staying on the same BNB liquidity pool or whatever?
So the factory is going to go cross-chain. We're going to be able to create any Surge token for any chain, any token on any chain. So any Chronos token, any BEP20 token, any ERC20 token, you could create a Surge token for. In terms of the XUSD we have right now, it would be very helpful to bridge it off onto other chains, and that probably will be a thing we do in the future as well. We just need to ensure that the other versions on the other chains keep the Surge principle intact. And once we can figure out a really good way to do that, so no one gets free Surge, we'll definitely do that, because XUSD can live everywhere.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much.
What's up, QR?
Hey everyone, I hope all of you are doing well. I just wanted to say thank you for the giveaway. I'm still hyped. I can't believe I won. But it is actually, I just came up here to say thank you again for what you guys are doing. I've been following Mark and Jen. I am invested in Vault and the search ecosystem. It's truly amazing what you guys have been what you guys have been what you guys accomplished during all this time, and I am excited for the future. I am excited for what is to come. And Mark, the website is looking awesome. It's looking beautiful, and I cannot wait for the arbitrage to be able to arbitrage using the DApp. That will make it easier for everybody, I think. uh, Being able to trade, swap, buy, sell, do everything with it within the DApp. So that would be awesome. And yeah, once again, thank you for all that you guys are doing, and keep it up.
Awesome. Thanks, QR. And congratulations on winning the giveaway. Be sure to give your key to Blue, and we'll get that sent over to you. But thanks again for coming up and giving the good words. I always love hearing from you.
Thanks, QR. Like Mark said, man, congrats on the giveaway. I'm happy, you won. All right, guys. On that note, we unfortunately have to wrap this up. We've been at it for about, I believe, over an hour now, about an hour and 45. I believe an hour 47 ish. Hope everyone had a good time tonight. I know I did. I am your host, Andrew Forte. This AMA was, brought to you by Gokhshtein Media, the best media outlet, in the absolute business. You guys have heard this spiel before. We thank you all the speakers. Thank you the entire community for showing up tonight. As usual, you guys always put on a great show. As mentioned before, me, my team, and I, we couldn't do the things that we do if the community wasn't so, tapped in with us. We appreciate you guys. And a special thanks to, Mark and his team coming out tonight. You guys really killed it.
Absolutely, yeah. Everyone here, be sure to follow Andrew and Gokhshtein Media. They do a bunch of amazing interviews with a lot of new and upcoming projects. So definitely want to be able to catch that when they come out.
Yeah, definitely. Listen to you guys
Appreciate
every
that,
day. I hit up David constantly. Not from this account. I'm not a shameless shiller or anything. But yeah, definitely.
Blue, he gets tons of DMs, man. Don't take it personal if he doesn't answer. He gets a ton of DMs.
Nah, only through the comments. Only through the comments. I don't DM the guy. Come on.
Oh, those are better because he reads those. The comments he does read. If you guys want to say anything, you guys do have the last 3 seconds with the mic. If you guys want to put anything up forth, maybe something you guys are looking forward to, some productive stuff, and all that great stuff.
Oh my god, the most exciting thing I'm excited for is the relaunch of Surge BNB version 2 coming out, and then the launch of the Surge Factory. Once we can make it so every single person in the world could create a Surge token if they wanted to for any asset. So if you want to search SHIB, if you want to search Crow, if you want to search anything, you want to search SafeMoon, you can do it. It's at your discretion, and they'll be made in a fully decentralized way.
Search Doge.
Hey guys, Andrew, I have one question for you. Only one question.
Go for it, bro.
So you have been doing all the spaces. Like I've seen you doing a bunch of spaces with Floki guys, the other guys, like different stuff. But which do you think is the best project you have come across?
Oh man, that question's extremely subjective. Best project in terms of what? Talking metaverse? We talking? What are we talking?
Best thing that you thought you could
overall?
invest into it.
Oh man, that's
XSurge,
really
hands
tough,
down.
man. I got a
That's
bunch of.
putting them on the spot, bro.
It's obviously XSurge.
Yeah, it's definitely XSurge, guys. Anything we say up here is not financial advice by any means. Whatever you choose to do with your money or don't do with your money, it's yours to lose, yours to gain. We are not involved whatsoever by any means. Man,
Bonzi, you better
you know what?
got that on
I'll
recording.
give you my. Yeah, we had to. Man, you know what? I'll give you guys my top three right now. Just really off the hop, in no order. I won't give you no Bitcoin or no Ethereum because we've heard that whole dabble before. It's completely irrelevant. Um, so my top three, aside from the usual, I'm gonna say Omi, Alluvium, and I'm going to say, oh man, what's my third one? I'm gonna give you guys Omi, Alluvium, and I will say one that you guys don't know, MVI. Look them up. Not financial advice, guys. Two of them are metaverse tokens, and the other one is an NFT, token with a side of metaverse as well. Yeah, guys, obviously do your own research. Whatever we say is not financial advice. But I think we're here extremely early, as said, literally on the weekly basis. We're gonna make a lot of wealth, hopefully, right? And be sure to each one teach one, guys. Each one teach one. Remember, that's very important.
Hey, Andrew, thanks, man. Thanks for your honest opinion. I appreciate it.
Of course. Just crypto. Just make sure, man. Whatever you do, you don't ape and say anything. You do your DD and you have how can I say this?
Mortgage the house for his number one option.
Yeah, mortgage your house. If your parents have a property, sell that property as well. No, but for real though, like one of the best things I think I ever did in this space in terms of in who I met and how I know them was find a great investment circle. And my group, we tend to put people on certain things. We watch different tokens. We kind of pool all our ideas together as well as the stuff that we find, and we really go off that. It's a team. It's definitely a team effort, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you and your team.
Of course, no problem. Guys, be sure to follow Mark and all his team, as well as G Media account. If you guys have any questions, as Mark stated earlier, be sure to join their Discord. I did just now, so you guys will see me in there as well. The Discord, from what I see, is extremely popping. So be sure to join that. And on that note, I am your host, and once again, Andrew Forte, sponsored by G Media. Today we had XSurge, and we do appreciate you guys coming out tonight and definitely taking the top off this one.
Awesome, yeah. Thanks for having us, man. Hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Of course, guys.
Yeah, that's
All right. Have a good one.
Greatest luck on your future endeavors.
Yes, sir.
Endeavors.